Hey there fellow cake friends, and welcome to this week's tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to make hydrangeas, which make lovely little filler flowers. If you'd like to see more sugar flower and cake videos, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and when you're ready to start, give me a big thumbs up and let's get to the tutorial. We'll be using 24 gauge wires for these hydrangeas. Grab a pair of pliers and cut the wires in thirds. Hook one end and close the hook. Repeat with as many wires as hydrangeas you'll be making. Since we'll be making blue hydrangeas, I've colored this gum paste with a touch of navy blue Pro Gel coloring. I like how muted it is. I'll be adding a lot more coloring with petal dust later. Both my gum paste recipe and all the tools and ingredients needed can be found in the description box below. Remove a small handful of gum paste and prepare it for rolling. I have 3 hydrangea cutters by Minette Rushing here for variety. I love these blue hydrangeas and the mauve ones too. Comment below and tell me which color are your favorites. I'm just hand rolling these hydrangeas. I'm not going to use the pasta machine, but if you did want to, it's going to be rolled to a number 3 on the pasta machine. It should just be translucent enough in order to see your hands through it. Cut out however many hydrangeas you plan on making, and then keep the cuts clean by rubbing your finger or your hand on the edges like that. And then make sure to cover the hydrangeas as you work in a double layer of plastic wrap. Once all your petals are cut out, we can get to shaping. Use your medium ball tool to soften the edges of the petals. Don't make them too thin because you still want them to be able to hold their structure. Then use the tip of your veining tool by rolling it back and forth to texture the hydrangea petals. Repeat with the remaining 3 petals. Pinch and have fun manipulating the petals to give them more movement. I like to pinch them all at the tip like this, and then bend some backwards and some forwards. Take a bit of gum glue and brush it in the center of your hydrangea in a cross shape. Fold the 2 shorter petals towards one another, then open up the 2 longer petals so they can be placed on the outside of the short ones. Next, you'll fold the longer petals towards one another. Allow the short ones to fold in half on themselves by opening up the flower slightly with your thumb before squashing the longer petals together. Shift the petals around and play with them until you're happy with the way they look. Then grab a wire and thread it through the center of the flower so the hook stops just inside the middle. It shouldn't be visible. Secure the flower at the base and bend the wire so you can hang it upside down on a drying rack to dry overnight. I'll show you the shaping once more because it's tricky the first few times. Once your flowers have dried for at least 24 hours, we can dust them. Put about a tablespoon of cornstarch onto your parchment paper that's been secured to your work surface. We'll be using 3 different dusts. This one is wisteria and navy, and the last one is forget-me-not blue. Using a large flat brush, brush a bit of cornstarch towards the blue and the navy blue, and mix them together in about equal parts to make kind of an inky blue. Dilute the wisteria dust with a bit of cornstarch too. Then start using your medium brush and brush that into all the crevices of your hydrangeas. Next, take your large brush with the inky blue petal dust, and you'll brush towards the center, starting from the edges, creating darker edges that fade into the lighter wisteria center. You really want to catch the color a lot on the edges and all the texture that you added so that it stands out. And then you can repeat adding the same color to the back of the petals. I like to make some flowers lighter and some darker. So next I'll show you an example of the darker ones. To achieve this color, I add more navy and blue petal dust to saturate the inky blue petal dust I already created. Then I'll dust it on the same way as I did before. Pull the color in from the edges and make sure that they catch the majority of the color. Lastly, dust the wisteria into the center and any light parts near the crevices. To tape your flowers, group them in bunches of 3s or 5s. I use them often as fillers, so these small bunches fit well between larger flowers. Make sure all the flowers are at a slightly different height, but they should be fairly close together. Take a half-width piece of dark green floral tape and stretch it so that the glue is activated. Then wrap it around your bunch of flowers all the way to the bottom. Tear it off at the bottom and be sure it's secured. Repeat with all the remaining flowers. And there you have your completed hydrangeas. Before you make your hydrangeas, don't forget to head down to the description box below and grab my Gumpaste recipe and the tool list you'll need to follow along. Comment below and tell me the next flower tutorial that you want to see, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss more cake videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.